This is Irvine, largest and a master plan city in central Orange County. It is ranked among the greenest and safest cities throughout the U.S. The city is committed to maintain a sustainable and eco-friendly environment. However, this beautiful neighborhood hides a secret, a gigantic one. All American Asphalt emits large amounts of benzene and formaldehyde each year. Both chemicals are known human carcinogens.
I guess some community members, they decided to kind of spread the word around. And on the flyer, there was this QR code to scan into a WeChat group where they would like people to start reporting when they smell the odor. And so just out of curiosity, I decided to join. And so I scanned the QR code, I got into the group. And I believe it was that same night that I started seeing messages on the, in that group. And they were saying that, currently there's this odor, the asphalt odor. And so I ran out to the top, my upstairs window. I opened up my window and the smell just got right into my nose. And I was like, okay, I believe it now. There's this asphalt plant.
Kevin first reached out to the city, but he was told that the South Coast Air Quality Management District was in charge of it.
And initially they gave the impression that they would be helpful. But over the next several years, they were not only not helpful, but they basically tried to stop us from making changes. The way they did in terms of coming out to document air complaints was basically useless. They had to send someone out here. It usually took about 2 to 3 hours before they even came out. And the inspector had to confirm it with his own nose.
We could still smell it, but the inspector would say, I don't smell it.
And at that point, it doesn't get in the record book. Then we spoke to principals of all the schools, and they were very interested at first, going, we didn't know. What should we do? And they said, well, they're going to take this information to the superintendent, and we felt good about that. And every single school went dead silent after that.
So we basically started speaking at city council meetings, and we sent detailed emails and letters to each city council member, also to the Orange County Supervisor and Congresswoman Katie Porter and Senator Dave Min and other civic leaders and elected officials. Most did not reply. Initially, only Larry Agrin spoke with us, and Dave Min did.
The 2020 election gives hope to them, as lots of candidates promise to get rid of the plan after they get elected. It seems that a positive result isn't too far away.
Because I will fight for our residents and ensure that we hold the Irvine company responsible and accountable for all of this.
The truth is, except for Councilmember Larry Agrin, most of them, after they won the election, they totally forgot what they promised.
And Mayor Khan was equally emphatic about helping us as residents. As soon as the election was over and Tammy Kim and Mayor Khan were elected, they basically stopped talking to us almost immediately. And that was very frustrating, and that made me believe that they had ulterior motives, that, initially maybe they lied to us.
That really was an eye-opener for me personally. It just shows, how much they would just come to you for help and hoping that they would get your support. But then, after they're done using you and all that stuff and our group of people, they would just ignore you, totally.
Absolutely. We had initially a very unresponsive city council. I'll just be clear about it. We had a city council, 5 members, lots of promises about doing something, but no serious affirmative action. In fact, when I tried to put matters on the agenda early on, some members of the council actually sought and successfully sought to block me from even putting this matter on the city council agenda.
The challenges were not only posed by the government officials, but their own neighbors as well.
when we tried to muster up the forces, the people to come to these protests, the first protest was actually quite good. We had a lot of support. A lot of people came out. We had a car caravan. But over time, it was harder and harder to mobilize people to come to these protests, to speak at city council meetings, to even send in letters to the city council members.
There are lots of reasons that people are not getting involved. And it could be that they're overwhelmed or they're too busy, or they're just afraid, because there are big organizations, and putting your name out there and getting behind something makes people feel like it's on record and there's something to be afraid of.
It's that most people in the area, they refuse to join because they think that if they were to hold all these protests and we start to make people be aware that there is an asphalt plant and that there is this issue that we are dealing with on almost daily basis or even weekly basis, that would cause their home prices to depreciate, to come down.
Though the journey was long and often frustrating, their persistence began to make a real difference. Gradually, the tide started to turn as their voices were finally heard. They were able to host protests at different locations: Orchard Hills, Eastwood, Portola Spring, and fortunately more and more people joined their team.
So I think the turning point was realizing that we needed to stage protests, demonstrations, hand out flyers, and go on social media. And I think over time, as more and more of the public knew and more of the potential home buyers understood what was going on, I think word got back to the home builders and developers that things were not sustainable, that if they wanted to finish developing Orchard Hills, they'd have to change something.
And that's where you begin to move from problem to solution, because it was clear these citizens were not going to be denied in their quest for clean air, safe neighborhoods, and I wasn't going to be denied either. We were going to find a way.
Their protest moved from the street to City Hall, and their actions also inspired many young people to step up and speak out. The group ranged from young elementary kids to high school students to adults and seniors. Local newspaper began to feature their story, amplifying their voices and bring much needed attention to their fight for justice. Their struggle, once ignored, was now front and center. Their relentless advocacy finally achieved success. On November 15, 2023, the city announced the closure of AAA.
So I had to search, who said it's closing, what makes them say that, and I found out that it was a speculation the first time, and it was a suggestion and one of many options. So the next time I heard it again, I was like, is it true this time? And once I heard it was true, I was so full in my heart, because I cried. I was like, I can't believe this actually happened.
Through complex negotiations in 2023, the city managed to convince all American Asphalt plant owners to sell the plant. Partnering with the Irvine Company, they secured the funds needed for the acquisition. The city will clean up the pollution and transform the site into the Gateway Preserve, a 700-acre natural open space. The Gateway Preserve will feature daily hiking and trail access, offering a beautiful and accessible environment for the community.
I used to believe that heroes needed superpowers, but now I realize real heroes don't wear capes or armors. They're the people we see every day, the ones who rise to face challenges with courage, even when the world isn't watching. They can be a mom, a dad, a doctor, a professor. They're the ones who are making a difference, not through extraordinary abilities, but through extraordinary acts of kindness, resilience, and love. Here's the truth. That person can be anyone, and that person can be you.